Many parts of East Asia and Southeast Asia were controlled by the Europeans. When I say Europeans means it is a huge big continent, children, made up of various countries. But to be precise, it was the French, the British, and the Dutch people. So they were the people who had good control over the region of East Asia and Southeast Asia. The Americans and the Japanese were a colonial power by the start of World War II. That means in 1937, when the war actually began, the Second World War began. During that time, the Americans and the Japanese were said to be a very strong colonial power here in East Asia and Southeast Asia. Next is the map, children, which I have put in my previous slide, that shows you that it was only Thailand and the Republic of China which were independent when the war broke out. Next thing, some parts of China, such as Manchuria, that is to the northeast of China, were a part of the Japanese Empire. Not the entire region of China came under the domination of the Japanese. Please keep this point in mind. Okay, so let us see the Japanese imperialism, children, over here. Now, in 1937, Japanese army invaded the region of China. When I say China, it does not include all the regions of China. Again, I'm repeating it, but the region of Manchuria, which you can see it in the map. Next is the Chinese people of all the ages. They came forward and they fought. They gave a tough resistance to these Japanese. Second point over here we need to remember is that these people, the Japanese, did not stop here, but they continued their expansion. And they continued their expansion with a very strong army and navy, took over the regions of Philippines, Indonesia, many Pacific islands. And this war lasted for 8 years. Eventually, the Allied forces of the Second World War, which comprised of UK, India, New Zealand, US, Canada, and the last country to join the league was Russia. So these six countries together formed the Allied forces and fought in the Second World War against Japan, Germany, Italy, and so on. So these were the countries of the Axis power. So in the Second World War, there were two huge big groups fighting against each other. So children, now we come over to the activity. You can see activity 1, which is from your textbook, and I have put in the answers also for you to just check. So again, it's my humble request, like all my videos I have requested, please do the activity all by yourself and then check the answers over here. Now let's see this activity 2, children. Now here in this activity, you can see the description of the scene. So this is what I have described over here, children. You can go through the description and note it down in your notebooks. Moving on to our activity 3, children. Over here, why do you think some countries became independent later than others? So these are the 3 points which I have written down. I hope you will find it valid. Please go through. The countries, those who won independence before other countries, had large number of its citizens participating in the long freedom struggle systematically and effectively. Second point is also their leaders were strong enough to proclaim independence at the right time against their colonial powers. So let me tell you, children, it was the Second World War that broke the bone of these colonial powers. Moreover, the Allied powers and the Axis powers were completely drained out of their energy after waging the Second World War. So they weren't so enthusiastic to continue their occupation in their colonies. So let's come to activity 4, children. You can see the photographs over here. One is of Osaka, in 1945 when it experienced the bomb from America. And second pick, which you can see, is now of Osaka. So Osaka during World War II was turned into ruins by America. Children, we all know that. And now Osaka is the second largest metropolitan area in Japan and the 10th largest urban area in the world with more than 19 million inhabitants. So you can see they have come a long way, children. Besides that, industrialization has also brought about prosperity to the city as well as to the country. And surely it's an economic hub, children, with lot of bustling activities of economics going on, of commercial activities going on over here, and has various modes of transportation available so that the export of goods can take place easily within the country and even outside the country. It has the most of the people living in the cities. And obviously, children, you can see over here for yourself that it has high rise buildings. Those are the commercial centers thriving with economic activities. As well as they have got residential complexes. As it is an urban area, obviously, we need residential complexes for the people to live in. Osaka is also famous for its industries, and this is not something new, children. Traditionally, also, it was an industrial center of Japan, and multinational electronics corporations like the Panasonic and Sharp. I'm sure that you must have come across and used those gadgets of these companies. So they are housed in Osaka. So this is what is this activity for all about, and surely children, Osaka has come a long way from 1945 till now after viewing all these points. So children, here you can have a look at this Chongqing, and this Chongqing is one of the thriving developing cities of China and is also called as the beta global city. It is one of the top 100 science cities in the world, and this is said by the natural index. According to the natural index of 2020, science cities and home to several notable universities including the Chongqing University and Southwest University. Besides that, you can see the important point over here that it had served as its wartime capital during the Second Sino-Japanese War of 1937 to 1945. Then let me tell you, activity 5 is too simple. You just need to take your textbook, and from the textbook in the map, you just have to locate the capitals of those countries mentioned and just write it down in your textbook. Here comes activity 6, children. It is the fill up activity in which they have given you 11 blanks, and those blanks are filled over here. You can go through this slide and then check the answers of what you have written in your textbook. Children, please go through this video link which I have shared with you, and that would give you a complete insight about how the Japanese expanded themselves during the World War II. Yes, so time to ponder, children. Some application based questions over here. Find out the stand of China in world politics now. And what led to Japan taking a back seat in the world politics when in World War II it was Japan, Japan everywhere? Then what were the events that led to Japan taking a back seat in world politics? So children, here we come to an end of our video today. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed as yet, please do subscribe and just put a like if you really liked my video. Take care, stay safe, bye bye.